is that?
That is an empty purple drink.
Is that like a Kool-Aid concentrate?
That's right, but whiskey in the bottom of it. It'll put your dick in the dirt. Oh, shit.
All right, there we go. Yeah. So we are live, and as soon as this pops up, we're going to share this code so we can share it, and then we're going to get it popping.
All right.
Yeah.
I want some Parsons chicken.
Yeah, I'm not up on that one, man.
Next time you're up there, you gotta do yourself a favor. It is. I'm trying to get them to do a brunch locks there.
Here we go.
It's just so good. I'm so hungry right now. Look at that purple drink. Look at this bad boy.
Motherfucker said purple drink.
Dude, I want to have a party called Purple Drink.
Purple drink.
I want a party called Purple Drink, dude. That should be live, man.
That's that Thanos.
That's what it's called. They call it Purple Drink. Dude, are we still live? Okay. I was about to say something. You order two, you order a third, you got to make another phone call to drive home.
It's like that?
It's like that. It's just like that.
All right, we almost done, y'all. We're going to get this out all to all the social medias and them.
All right.
Social
on the Facebooks. Man, I hate social media.
That's the blue one, right? Facebook.
Uh-oh. DJ Black Irish. What's happening, my
Chicken
man?
in.
What's up, Aaron?
Aaron.
What up, son?
Damn. The pre-sales. Look.
Uppercase, we alive. Yes, we are, mama.
Uppercase. You know why I call her uppercase, right?
No.
She's like an uppercase S. Bam, bam.
It's gonna be quite the evening.
Yeah, you can see that, and the drink hasn't even.
I ain't wrong.
I'm pretty sure I'll be speaking Japanese after a couple of seconds.
He said I'll be speaking Japanese. When y'all bringing your boy back out?
Next year.
Really? That dude. I don't think he understands anything I say, but he sure is fun.
Definitely.
Like he's always smiling, dude. It's like he's like hilarious, dude.
And when we pour those, we'll have to lift a shot to him because his birthday was 22nd, October 22nd.
Oh, it hasn't happened yet.
No, it happened.
We hadn't even started drinking yet.
It was on Japan time, right?
Yeah. So
He said it was on Japan.
2 days ago.
Wheels wobbling.
He said it's on Japan time.
I ain't say hello yet. So
happy birthday, Dory.
So let me go ahead and get into it then. Welcome to another episode of The Other Side of Vegas. I'm your host, Roy Evans.
Bruno Browning.
And the 2 men in the middle. First off, we are at the One Stop DJ Shop, downtown Las Vegas, in the Arts District. Yes, sir. That's right. Rep it.
It is hard.
Matter of fact,
hard.
Hold on.
It is. Get that.
There it is.
Get that.
Big man friendly. Big man
that.
friendly.
Yeah.
Get that.
Gotcha. But yeah, and there's that, and that's me being silly. Please excuse that really weird cut right there. But the men in the middle, Robalon, Doug W, Unfiltered Soul, DCR, every Friday. That's how they get down. These cats, if you haven't seen the last episode we did with them last year, you want to get your pen and pad and go back and check that one out because it's like that, and that's the way it is.
Oh,
so I just
damn. We appreciate you, man.
I can't help that.
Definitely appreciate that.
Moving forward,
these guys are not only mainstays in Vegas, but they were certified before they got here. You know, these cats got history a little long in the toothless. You know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of which, I mean, you guys just came back from Chicago. Oh, you know what? My bad.
What do we want to drink first, fellas? Excuse this. Excuse our host over there. What are we looking to drink first?
Okay. The opening shot, huh?
Yes, sir.
Guest choice.
Opening shot.
I'm having the Japanese stuff. This hibiki.
Watch out.
Hibiki.
I'm gonna take some of that too.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get it in.
When in Rome.
Do that for Nori.
You know, a little to the Japanese say. That's right. Yeah.
Hey.
We can pick up to Nori.
Hey. For you.
Yep.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Hey.
There you go.
Look at me.
For you, Unfiltered Soul, brother.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
I need to make it Japan.
I did a lot of this
See now,
in Japan.
hold on now. Being that we bigging up Nori,
Yeah.
let's not you know.
Here we go.
Get too upset. We're having fun. We're not making fun.
Correct.
I was speaking proper
Correct.
stuff.
Nori Tracks is our outside correspondent, deep in the streets of Nagasaki, Japan. This one is for you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, brother.
Nori.
Happy birthday, Unfiltered Soul, brother.
And salute to you guys.
Yes, Yamas.
Salute.
Yamas.
Wi-Fi.
Yamas. He said Wi-Fi.
We don't have to shoot this, right? We can sip this, right? Yeah, come
You're a
on.
girl.
Seriously, no, you shoot the first one. You sip
All
the
right.
rest.
All right.
There is plenty.
What you acting shy for? What you trying to act shy for, Doug?
Yeah, right.
Woo!
Man. Oh my God, that'll make you punch your great aunt in the mouth.
Damn, I'm getting a hairline all of a sudden.
That is delicious, man.
Man, I punched that up for twice.
Dude, that is. You think it's gonna be something else, but it's so smooth.
Jeez
Yeah.
Louise.
Woo!
Man, I'm moving to Japan.
And they make this stuff in,
Whoa.
is it Kyoto?
That's
was,
that sake that we wanted. That
Ooh,
was in Kyoto.
that's good.
That sake when we were in Kyoto.
Yeah.
That's not.
But
that's,
we digress.
Santori. Yeah, we digress. That's Santori.
That's a nice,
So,
clean.
you guys just came off a pretty hot weekend in Chicago. What was that like?
Yes, sir.
It was fire. Shout out to our boy Diaz Funk, aka Stevenson. Laced us up with a group that has multiple concerns there. So we did a members only event at Soho House Chicago on Friday, and then we repped it hard at Bordel on Saturday. And that was open to the public. Blew them both out the frame, had a real good time. Really got to stretch out. Shout out to Tess, who was holding it down at Soho House Chicago. She was killing it before we got on. And then at Bordel, you know, Diaz Funk, he repped hard. He opened up for us real nice. Got out the way, let us do our thing, and we stretched out. We stretched out until about 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
How was the weather up there?
It was crispy, but sunny.
I'm gonna be there at the end of the month, or
Yeah,
in
it was-
November,
man, it was-
December. Everyone says it's cold. I don't believe them.
It was,
Nah, it was beautiful walking
it
weather.
was beautiful walking weather, man. We got to stretch out not only in the club, but outside the club, man. So we got it in.
Nice.
We had a good time.
Nice.
Had a real good time. A lot of people from Chi that know me, rep came out full support, so that was really good, really good. We just got it in, man. We showed them that we know a little bit about this and that.
That's what's up.
So, like, you talk about the cast that came out and rep.
Yeah.
For those that haven't seen the other episode, Born and Raised, correct?
Born and raised in Chicago. Yep, that's me.
So let's give them the overview, but don't just put the tip in, because you got to go back and watch the other joint. You got to go back and watch the other joint. You know, would you do a brief history?
Yeah, so back in the day, I was at this school, Whitney Young Magnet High School. Some names that you guys probably know from Chicago that you should know if you don't know. Number one off top would be Greg Gray, Cordell Johnson, Kenny Baker, Gary Heflin, Eric Blackwell. Those are the core group of guys that I was rolling with when I learned. Brent Hawkins, Dave Burton. I mean, there's just so many cats that were at that school that had a taste for this and wanted to do house music. Ronnie and Frankie were there doing their thing. Before that, though, we had producers on deck like Glenn Underground, Lou Williams. Those cats were repping hard, doing their thing. All the way now, you got Anthony Nicholson holding it down on the production side, still doing DJ sets. But I think that Larry Hurd, you know, we can the crop there is rich. You know, the chosen few. You know, we were just doing it. Andre Hatchett, Tony Hatchett, Keith Fobbs. I mean, Leonard Roy was holding it down on the south side, doing it big. There were a lot of cats there that were present and accounted for, making a contribution. And I think that in terms of putting Chicago on the map, you know, it's undeniable. It's got to be a discussion in the game if you're talking about the creation, formation, you know, and comeuppance of house music. I mean, to me, you got New York, Detroit, Chicago. That's the triangle.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else came after.
Yeah.
And Doug, what's a brief history of your comeuppance?
So I like to add to that because Newark, New Jersey was also part of that scene, big time. The old Jersey sound. We're talking about Zanzibar. We're talking about Tony Humphries. We're talking about T. Scott. We're talking about Terry Chandler. We're talking about a lot of cats out of the Jersey game, which a lot of people back then nicknamed it New York Junior, or a small version of New York. But we were right across the river from New York.
Stinky New York.
Stinky New York. so, so while Rob was, growing up with those names, the Frankie Knuckles and the Larry Herds and the Ron Hardys and stuff like that, I was growing up with the Shep Pettibones, the Tony Humphreys, the whole New York, New Jersey thing, the whole Gamble and Huff, the whole Philadelphia International sound, that whole tri-state area. And so where Rob came from a house background / disco, we came straight up disco, which then translated into New York Garage House, which was invented by Mr. Garage himself.
Larry Levan.
Larry Levan, thank you. I don't know why his name was escaping me.
It's all good. Chicago to the rescue.
And speaking of Chicago, Larry Levan and Frankie Knuckles, which a lot of people say I look like, they were the best of friends. And originally, it was supposed to be Larry Levan that went to Chicago to open up the warehouse.
Yep.
Instead, Frankie Knuckles went, and Larry stayed behind and opened up the garage. And that's how that whole history thing started. So when you think about that, I guess you can kind of look at us now as the Frankie Knuckles, Larry Levan, so to speak. New York, New Jersey, Chicago joining forces.
Wait. What the fuck is he talking about, dude? Like, David Guetta started fucking house. He bought house.
Oh, yeah, he did. He did start a house. I forgot about that. My bad. Shout out to Dave Guetta, man. You did the damn. Can I get another drink?
Hey, listen. What do you want? Yes, sir. What you need? What you want? You want another one of these?
I think I'm gonna need one so I don't crack up in the
I got you.
Obviously, I'm
completely and totally joking.
For real.
Oh,
yeah.
But with that said, obviously we all know what that deal was about, and eventually, I don't want to knock how busy a dude may or may not be, but I'll just say eventually he made a statement which seemed to be
could have been
put
better.
out as I don't want to say it was an apology because it didn't really seem like it.
A correction? Not even a correction. It was something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, are you guys? Did you read that?
I didn't peep that side. I saw the ABC interview and I was just like, this dude's out the frame. And
well, I don't think it was him. I think it was them to get clickbait. But he had an obligation though to speak up.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
You hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
So you can't omitting the truth
That's
is
a lie of omission.
bad as telling the lie.
Yeah.
And I think that when he let it ride,
Yeah.
and didn't stop and say, hey, wait a minute, I get the whole tag, grandfather, blah, 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 all that. But let me just, for the record,
Oh, and
say
by the
this.
way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, now, this right here was his for the record.
Okay.
He said, some people love a controversy, but I'm about positivity. I fell in love with house music as a teenager in the 80s when I first heard Chicago House on the radio in Paris. It was Farley Jackmaster Funk's record, Love Can't Turn Around. I became obsessed with the sound of it. The music had a message of love, being open and bringing people together that inspired me to start my first house music night in Paris in '88. Later, when I was running a club called Queen, I would invite DJs like Frankie, David, DJ Pierre, Masters at Work, Danny. I was trying to learn from those pioneers, and I also wanted to share this amazing feeling too. House was born from people like Frankie Knuckles and Larry Levan. The legacy of the genre and those artists are so important to me. Those people followed by others paved the way for myself and other artists to have careers and be able to do what we are doing today. For me, it's all about love and bringing people together to celebrate life. So that was his retort to it.
Okay.
It could have been a little bit more. It could have been a little bit more of that if I misrepresented it in any way.
And I forget homeboy that started Trax Records, but you had guys like Kurt Landrum, Chippy, you had Frankie, obviously, you had Ronnie's Edits, you had Farley and Jesse and Steve Hurley all dropping tracks way back in the day. They kind of
Marshall Jefferson.
Absolutely, yeah. And then those guys were pushing house, because like you said, it's house music born out of disco, funk, jazz, soul, all that. And I think that Chicago put its own little stamp on it.
Right.
I think that out of the East Coast, that's where I was buying all my records. All my records coming from Imports, etc. Imports, etc. was a record shop on Plymouth Court in Chicago, and Loop Records, Rose Records to a lesser extent, Gramophone for sure, Secondhand Tunes, those places like that, Mr. Peabody's, they were dropping heat. And I think that we took it and just made it more electronic, more hard driving, more.
Well, they were soulful too. I mean, and I loved it because I grew up, with the South Soul Orchestra stuff and First Choice, and then later on, the Prelude and Emergency, and
Absolutely.
and all of those labels that came out, Sleeping Bag Records, all those
we
records
played
that
all
came
that.
out of New York. Sam was another good
Absolutely.
label. And then when I first heard house music, it was actually from a dude out of Chicago. We were in the Army together at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. He was from Chicago. He brought these tracks in, and some of the first tracks I heard was the DJ International tracks. It was Mr. Fingers, Can You Feel It? It was, Washing Machine, all of these records that came out.
At Fort Sill, Oklahoma?
Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
That's some weird.
Sherman and Jesse Saunders started Trax Records.
That's some weirdness.
That's interesting because Rocky, to my knowledge, was behind Trax Records.
I just saw something that someone chimed in with that. I didn't catch it.
Jesse dropped something with I think Vince Lawrence and Mitch Ball Records or something like that. I'm sure somebody in Chicago this listener is going to correct me if I'm wrong, but that bubbled up from the underground, man. I'm talking people pressing their own records and releasing their own acetates and all that stuff. Just really grimy. I mean, it was definitely
those 50 use records.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was
that Dirty Snare. It was gritty, man. That's what made it so hot.
And that 303, I think that Roland 303 machine.
Yeah, man.
The acid sound and all that. So this was really this bubbled up, in my opinion, bubbled up out of all those labels, record labels you were talking about that were coming from the East Coast, and then in some cases from Imports, etc. It was coming from all over the world.
I mean,
because we were taking new wave, we were taking all kinds of different electronic dance music and trying to figure it all out for ourselves.
Which is the beauty of the whole thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it bubbled up out of that, in my opinion, at least in terms of what was happening in Chicago, in a way that really just kind of set the tone. And I don't think any of those influences, and no disrespect to Dave or anything like that, but he says it in his correction. He says that this is something that he heard from America, and then in '88 put it out in Paris, through his party. And
so
I
how
think
did y'all fuck it up so bad that the white boy had to bring house music back to fucking? I'm fucking.
And see, and so from Chicago, to my knowledge, some of the first people to go overseas and travel and take that music over there were Farley, Steve, and Frankie.
And Tony.
Yeah.
He did the residency at the Ministry of Sound.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, my thing is this. I don't really. I'm not going to get into the whole. There's a lot of left field shit out there when it comes to that, and I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole as far as, I'm not even going to say the A word. You don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I don't really see it that way because I didn't see anywhere where it came out of his mouth.
Right, and
so it seemed like a lot of people just kind of jumped the gun a little bit.
Well, because people love this thing. And people protect it. And I get it.
Yeah.
Like I thought there was a little bit of not overreaction, but to a degree. You know what I mean? A little bit. But we all love this stuff. And I can understand where it came from.
But unfortunately, to me, what I want you guys to kind of chime in on is that, unfortunately, a lot of us tend to be a little, let's call it, hypersensitive, because mistake or not, on the back end, what ends up happening is a form of how history gets rewritten and how we kind of get written out of.
But here's to me what there are. To me, there's a couple of things going on in the house music community. This is just me personally. This isn't a statement for Unfiltered Soul, for Nori or Doug. But for me personally, we're getting caught up in two things that are distracting from the real conversation. We're getting caught up in the origin of who did what, who was first, all this other stuff. To me, it's real simple. If you're 30 or younger, you can sit down. You weren't there. If you were 40 or younger, you can sit down. Yeah. You were on the outside looking in.
Right.
So we can shut down a whole lot of. And so
Only thing
then,
more important than sitting down is shutting
Shutting
the
up.
fuck up.
I guess what you're trying to say
Right.
is that you have to be a grown.
you have to
man.
be you
Well,
gotta
chronologically, that's the only way that plays out.
It's not a slight to anybody. It's not saying that 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds don't love or like house music or passionate about it, anything like that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that there are people that bubbled up from the beginning, and we were
when
there.
it was invented.
Right, we were there when it was invented. We were
Yeah.
there when it was bubbling up out of the influence of disco and punk rock and new wave and this electronic synth stuff and all that.
We were there saying, "What the fuck is that?"
Right, exactly. And how can I get some more?
And,
of
and
that?
every househead worth his salt said that exact words. What the fuck is this?
Right.
I knew what it was.
You know
I
what I
fell
mean?
in love with it the moment I heard it. I was like, that's the bass line from that song. That's the key
Right.
chords from that
Right.
song. That's
Right.
the vocal from
Right.
that song. I
Right.
picked them all apart because I
Okay,
was
Rain
there.
Man.
So one of the things that I want the community to put down is that thing. We need to get past that. And I think the reason that Dave brought it back to the surface is because Dave came out of left field of the way that his conversation was contextualized. It made it sound like it was completely inaccurate.
Yeah.
And so you got all these people up in arms trying to make a correction when we really got to focus on this is amazing genre of music that bubbled up out of nothing and became something, because disco was dying.
It was dead at that point. They had done the blow up at the stadium, and
Steve Dahl.
Frankie
The
was still
Loop
doing his
Records,
thing, right? I mean,
Well, it transitioned to New York Garage.
Correct.
That was like the next phase, and then
Correct.
it phased into
Correct.
the house stuff.
But the problem that I have with it now is that not enough of the old heads are telling the story. They're telling their contribution, because everybody wasn't DJing every weekend, but somebody was at somebody's club every weekend. Somebody was at the record store every weekend.
Tell that tale.
Somebody was, everybody participated. Now, everybody wasn't the originator or the ambassador or the godfather, all these monikers, but everybody played.
And they were all
part.
important.
Exactly, they were all important, right? Because if I'm DJing and you don't show up, I'm playing to the bricks.
You're like a tree in the woods.
Right, who cares about that? So I think that the other side of the conversation is that the old heads have to represent the history while they continue to make history, and these new schoolers need to learn a little bit of history while they make history. Because I don't want to feed.
It has to be both, though.
It does. It does.
I mean,
it does. It does. I'm not
saying. It's not like. It's not like you don't have an opinion. It's like your opinion doesn't matter. I want to be really clear about that. Everybody's opinion is important. Let's be mindful that it's just not nearly as important as we want to think it is.
Right,
So if you're a part of history, tell your part
of
in
the history.
history.
And be proud of it.
Exactly. That's a good
Don't
point.
conflate the shit. But at the same time, if you aren't in the process of continuing to make history, let's be mindful of that shit too.
Right.
Because you get a lot of salt in the wound. You can tell by the way someone's telling their story or telling a story how salty they are.
Yeah.
Right.
Cats that may not be as relevant as they used to be anymore. And I get that, man. But when it's all said and done, that was then.
Yeah.
And embrace it and be proud of it,
Right.
because it was an
Right.
important part.
Be proud of it, but don't conflate it.
Yeah.
And don't add, shit in the game on the backside. Because when it's all said and done, how does it get preserved? In other words, if you consider however you convey your story, if it was only conveyed that way, would history be preserved?
Right. Yeah. Because it's important. This history is important.
It is
I
important.
mean, because if you do love it, like people profess to do, we're protective over it. And if you are protective over it, you have a duty to give the true account,
Absolutely.
your account.
Right.
That, you know what I mean? And that's it's a duty. I mean, it really is. That's the way I look at it.
And he would have, and I think his comments, his second comments, as his first comments, would have been very well
If he would have
received.
started off that way, you're exactly right.
Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and this wouldn't even be.
And I don't even fault him that much, because
but at the same time, if something that he said was taken out of context,
well, editors too. They made that sensational headline, and then they quickly took it down. So
Of
there's
course.
a lot of factors in
Yeah,
there.
of
Yeah.
course.
A
Of
lot.
course.
It really
But I
is.
think that don't get lost in the opportunity now that house music is dominating the
Expand it,
headlines.
yeah, expand that,
Now that
yeah.
right,
Dig deep.
Expand on that. Tell them what you're doing now. Bring it forward. Say, you know what?
Yeah.
We might have got the origins messed up, but look at what so-and-so
Oh
is
yeah,
doing
by
right
the way.
now. Exactly.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, man, we are, all four of us are ambassadors for this. We're passionate about it. We're out here, we're playing in Vegas, we're playing all over, we're playing anywhere we can, all over the world. You know, so I think it's really important for us not only to rep the history, but to rep our brands moving forward and let people know this is still a relevant genre of music. It's still bringing energy to the dance floors.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
it's never going anywhere.
And people are still making real contributions.
Yeah.
I mean, there's new records dropping like every day.
Too many records.
Can't
I mean,
keep
yeah, you can't keep up. I
Speaking
mean,
of which, you mentioned like we're all working DJs. We all play out, repping brands, and contributing. I kind of touched on that a little bit a couple of episodes ago with big up to my man Oscar P. As far as give me your take on like not just the responsibility or how you balance the responsibility of repping your brand and keeping house music in mind, because it's a thing.
Yeah, you have to. I think that, for us especially, Doug and I, we stretch out. We don't. I'm gonna get on a little bit of a soapbox, and then I'm gonna answer your question directly. When we host people, we get out of the way. We represent our brand. We book people that are consistent with our brand, consistent with our sound. We set them up really nicely, incorporate all our media and any work that we do in promoting that event in a way that's consistent with our brand, consistent with our sound. Then when they come that night of, we set them up, and then we get out of the way. Yeah. Our residency is assured. Not to be all cocky with it or anything like that, but it's our night.
You put the work in.
We put the work in. We did the thing, and now it's time for us to put some shine on somebody else, put a spotlight on, because the whole world has no idea, and I'm so glad you guys do this, because this is the other side of Vegas. People don't know, the reputation that Vegas has worldwide. EDM. It's pop music. It's top 40. It's not this.
It's everything.
It's not
but
this. It's everything
Yeah.
but this. And so we have an opportunity to introduce the world to what's going on in here in Vegas. We got to take that very seriously.
Yep.
We ain't playing with that. We can't afford
When
to
you
play
play
with
when
that.
you play outside,
absolutely.
you gotta rep it. You gotta rep it.
Even though I'm from Chicago, even though he's from Newark,
You guys
Unfiltered
are
Soul
Vegas
is
now.
representing
You guys are
right.
Vegas
Unfiltered
now.
Soul is representing
Yeah.
what's
Vegas.
going on in Vegas, and people need to know that we're deep in the streets in Vegas. This ain't topical house music. This is the truth.
That's the way I feel about that's the way I feel about Soul Summit. I mean, we're working on 13 years, and we're the first house label, and I am proud of that, because people can say, or I can lift my head up and say, I'm working on 13 years.
Absolutely.
There's been house here way before that, but putting out music, and you gotta rep it, and that's why there's pictures of Vegas on every cover.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we're doing something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's that. And so if you don't have that synergy, because Doug and I started at DCR. Well, Doug started first, probably about 9-10 years ago. I came on soon after. Then we're drinking, and end up coming up with Unfiltered Soul.
Excuse me there, brother.
Then
You drink faster.
We fold Nori into the mix.
Yeah.
But the whole time, to your point, we're building a brand that's gathering steam over the course of all those years.
And it ain't easy.
And it's a marathon. It's a marathon.
Yeah, and so Roy and I were talking about this earlier when he was setting up, that when we first started DJing, you had the responsibility as a DJ to rock and hold the crowd that the promoter in the club brought into the
it's
venue.
not that anymore.
It's not that anymore. Now we have to be photographers. We got to be graphic designers.
Marketers.
We got to be marketers. We got to be promoters.
Street
we got to be
team.
booking agents, street team, and you got to put all that work
Now
in.
we got to be gatekeepers too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's never stopped.
Right. That's never
But
stopped.
But it's never been more needed.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right.
Because I mean, like the proverbial wheels have been coming off for a while, and there's a lot of wobbling going on, and it's like,
You all right?
No, I was all right at the first one.
You push your glass over.
Listen, Rob, you and I are the same. I'm sipping on this one, my man. I got to drive.
You better know it, right?
You and I, we right here, brother. We sipping.
All y'all just got puppy nuts, man.
I asked him if there's any alcohol left in Chicago when he got back.
After working all night and having to go home and work all night again.
All right,
I'm good.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I'm real good.
You're better at it.
But, you know, it's a good feeling that, you know, and I'm sure all of us have heard this at one point or another, when we go out and play outside of Vegas and we're doing our thing, that someone says, y'all do this in Vegas?
Yeah.
Right.
You damn right. You damn right we do this
Been
in Vegas.
doing this in Vegas.
I puff up a little bit about you damn right.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, and unfortunately, that's, you know, that's how everybody outside of Vegas thinks of Vegas. Like,
Right.
they don't do house music in Vegas.
Well,
There's no house music. There's no house venue in Vegas, and it's not true.
I mentioned this a couple of shows back. It's a ridiculous amount of that I'm prideful of it. But when someone's, you know, we all get this on Facebook. Hey, I'm gonna be in Vegas. Who to talk to?
Right.
You know, someone to tag.
Yeah.
Bill Brennan, Roy Evans,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
There's a and
Yeah.
I'm proud of that because put the work in for a couple decades
Exactly.
now, and
Exactly.
it says a little something about. You know what I mean? What's
Absolutely.
what's been going on for all these years?
And it ain't by proxy, you know. I wasn't like elected and shit. I didn't like buy my way to be
No.
I actually did. I bought my way.
and to being a house music ambassador of Vegas. You know, it's just that I'm not playing any games.
Yeah.
There it is.
Just regardless of where I am, I just happen to live in Vegas.
Right.
Obviously, I rep where I'm from on a regular.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so I mean, it's just. It ain't the what, it's the how. It's just how I approach it.
Right.
I mean, I need this shit like I need air. Like
Yeah.
there is no
Right.
me not playing.
Do you know how I started really embracing the when I first got here? I'm working on 20 years now. When I first got here, I was amazed at how many people, and you guys have all heard this, would just give a disclaimer. Oh, this is Vegas. I mean, locals.
Oh.
This is Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, fuck that.
Right.
I'm gonna do what I can to make it better. But I'm gonna start a label. I'm gonna do this. Right. So that's how it became a point of pride to say, no, I ain't gonna put. Listen, we will keep our dirty laundry.
Yeah.
We will talk about the dirty laundry.
Yeah.
But outside of Vegas, you're never gonna hear me say, "Oh man, it's just Vegas." No, fuck that shit.
Right. And it's the same.
You know what I mean?
thing.
You got to rep it and be proud of it. And it is what it is. It'll never be this market, or that market.
Right.
But there's some depth there if you dig a little deeper.
But that's the point that needs to be made. You know, I can't lie to people and say the strip ain't here, but I'm saying the strip
corny
isn't
as hell.
the strip isn't the only game in town, though.
But there's another side of
And
Vegas.
there's another side.
See what I
of
just
Vegas,
did
and and I think that, but as you said, you know, the One Stop DJ Shop is born out of that same thinking.
Yeah.
We need something like this here. We need house music here. We need another side of Vegas. It can't just be that without this, you know. And so I think it's really important that people know that they have choices, they got options, and more importantly, that they're going to get a true representation of it, because there's a lot of house music out in Vegas that really probably wouldn't even be classified as house music.
No, probably isn't.
Right, by our standards.
Yeah.
And so when you have, you know, the Edgar Reyes of the world, or the Carlos Sanchez, and the other guys that are out here really doing things that are consistent with the house music, right? And been doing, and that's the other side of it. Yeah, I mean, I think that people just don't realize how long this has been going on.
Yeah.
And what I think is really cool about that, though, to me, is that when you talk about underground, house music's underground in Vegas. Real house music is underground in Vegas.
Which is, it might be one of the last holdouts.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And I never thought about that. You just said that right there. That's a good fucking point.
I think one of the things that gets overlooked, and don't get me wrong, I mean, it sounds like there's so much that's way more important than, you know, I thought it was. Kinda, you know, because it's almost kind of relative to say, you know, how long Edgar or Carlos has been, you know, like paving the way before I got here. And
Yeah,
you
Keith
guys-
Evans.
And they did too.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I
know,
remember you too remember those
But
days.
there's that it almost does it a disservice in a way, and I'm trying not to be too anecdotal, and I just want to just touch on the fact that logistically, what that means in order to do something like this, something that's technically considered underground,
for so long. To say it's not easy, it ain't shit. To say it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know, to not only do it, but do it well and do it for more than a decade. Come on, man. And the fortitude that it takes to do something like that on the back end, going through it in real time is nothing short of arduous. And that's the kind of thing that I'm trying to be, I don't want to be too flippant about it. I'm not trying to scare nobody. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's harder than it is. But DJing itself is DJing. Depending on your status, it's either a luxury or it's an uphill battle. Yeah. Either way, DJing by itself is DJing. But then there's all the compulsories that go along with it. Trying to build up a brand and hold down a relationship. Trying to build up a brand and hold down a family. Trying to build up a brand, facilitate your passion, and fund it.
Side pieces.
And then there's side pieces.
Other business pursuits. I mean, yeah, man. It's but I think that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say what I wanted to add while you were on that note is that doing all of that has made us beasts. You know?
Yeah.
And I'll say why. So when you go out, and I'll use you for an example. You're here in Vegas, right? And you can play your motherfucking ass off, and it may not be well received.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I suck.
No. The point that I'm getting at, now you go down to San Diego.
Right.
And before you even, you just out there just throwing light jabs, and you got the place crushed. You haven't even started yet.
Yeah.
And it's this type of environment that is motivated or forged us to be, you know, much more stronger, much more motivated.
Beastly.
Much just beast.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that every time when Rob and I would go out and play, because, you know, we did, 9 years in the fucking hole at DC on Wednesday nights?
Yeah.
We came up the surface, now we're on
the
Friday nights.
foxhole.
Yeah, so we're finally tuned. We've been hitting the heavy bag and, you
Like
know,
a
doing
motherfucker.
push-ups and sit-ups. So when we go out and play about, people are like, man, you're crushing it. It's
Yeah.
like, man, I'm still opening up right
And
now.
it's-
I haven't
and-
even started yet.
And that's and it's also a weird feeling because when you play here and you've been putting the time in and we all have our own followings,
Correct.
but all of a sudden it's not this, you're not getting that same that exact same what
the energy.
yeah, it's like but you got it's like
and we got a real chance to get a taste of that. Like the month of October was crazy for us.
It was crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
Phoenix, San Diego,
yeah.
Chicago.
I want to
here.
point out about Phoenix. I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
didn't mean to cut you off.
you good.
So a month or so ago, I played at Phoenix. I played at near the Phoenix Stadium when the Bears and the Cardinals were playing. There was a lot of Chicago house heads there. I'm from Jersey, and so I'm trying to earn my Chicago card. I'll be completely honest because you know they're not easy to impress.
Yeah,
they're not. No. You know, they're fickle about their house music. They're real particular about.
They're sophisticated too.
Yeah.
Because you know, hey, this is the birthplace of house music, right? So I need to come out there and come correct. So I came out there, I did my thing. A lot of feedback I got was like, dude, I mean, what's that track? What's this track? Damn, you know, that's how they doing it in Vegas?
It's like, dig, motherfucker.
That's how we doing it in Vegas.
That's how we're doing it in Vegas.
Right? So it was a real good feeling to step outside and play for a crowd like that. And for me, I mean, to me, that, for them to say that, it was, I know that it was, because they didn't know who I was. They don't know me. It's not like
it's validating, dude. It's validating.
Right, it's pure validation.
Yeah.
And I really, really appreciate that. And I called Rob up and I said, hey, I got my Chicago card. I'm good.
He said, no, you didn't.
Let me take off a chunk of that real quick.
Yeah.
Because what just kind of occurred to me is like, I don't know. What do you think about how much we lean and seemingly depend on headliners in order to make an event worth doing? Now, on the backside, what I just got from that is that they don't know who I am. They didn't come to hear me specifically.
Exactly.
You know, and I don't know. To me, that's a little more. That's a lot more house. You know.
Yeah.
You know, like okay,
it was organic.
and, you know, And I mean, let's keep it real. It's cheaper too, but still, you know,
Right.
it's the principle. Whereas, I mean, you still got solid DJs that will not break the fucking bank if you're an adult and you're not dependent on them to make it so that you can afford them.
Dude, we brought in every
It
month.
makes no sense that you put me in a position where you can't afford to pay me if I don't bring you money.
Right.
See what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's like this that's not grown. Fuck DJing. Fuck house music. That's just not adult like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So when it comes to how we seemingly have gotten ourselves in this position where most nights are solely dependent on
That's too
on
much.
a headliner to make
That
the
ain't
money.
that's not the Unfiltered Soul
No,
model.
it's not.
Yeah.
That's not our model. So here's the thing with us. It goes back to, like you said, brand building. So let's say that Doug and I had a guest in every week.
Right.
Then you don't get to know who we are. You get to know who the guests are. We're worth the ticket for admission.
Yeah.
You gotta,
that
you gotta,
Talk that shit.
we got something to say.
Yeah.
Right.
We talk with our hands too.
Yeah.
And so it's not to say that we won't bring in a headliner, because we do have Deep Sugar coming, by the way, in
Yes.
November
We'll
16th. We'll circle back to that.
Circle back on that.
Somebody said when you guys came last year that they knew when you guys were on because the whole vibe changed. I couldn't catch your name. My bad.
And that is
That's a hell of a compliment.
that's the kind of praise that splits my wig.
My nipples
wide
are hard
open.
right now. I can't see it.
Because that's I don't and this is and I think that everybody does that. Bruno has a sound, Roy has a sound, even as Unfiltered Soul,
Yeah,
Doug has a sound, and I have a sound.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think it's real important to let your audience know who you are. But if you got a headliner every week, if there's somebody else other than you playing every week, if you're diluting your own brand to help somebody else eat when you ain't eating, that makes no sense to Unfiltered Soul. We ain't going out like that.
My
We're
rib
not-
cage will never show.
Well, when we were doing our party, we tried to sandwich it for a few reasons. One, because being on the Sunday night,
You're the bookend.
you don't know what's going to happen crowd wise. Two, the second reason is that's who they hear at the beginning and that's who they hear at the end.
Right.
Three, if they happen to fuck up, that third person, one of us will be able to bring
Save
it
the day.
home.
Right.
Save the
Not
day.
to, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Have you
absolutely.
ever had to do that? You don't have to say who. I mean, have you ever had to do that?
Yeah, we've had some people shoot their load, and we've had to jump in that weren't ready for an hour and a half.
Prematurely ejaculated, huh?
Well, they couldn't do an hour and a half, and that's
For whatever reason.
for whatever reason, yeah.
It's the kind of thing where you go,
Get in there. Get in there.
that's the first track, and then the very next track, it's like, okay, wait a minute.
He's done.
Yeah. I mean, because don't get me wrong, any night has to have peaks and valleys.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how it goes.
Yep.
But when you already had it,
Right.
You don't let it go.
Then, and you hear it change,
Yeah.
and then it's not corrected that second track, and then the third track comes in.
It wasn't a mistake.
It wasn't a mistake. They blew their load. Like, don't you feel that breeze on the dance floor? Like, now all of a sudden
Right.
everybody's thirsty.
Right.
Well, see, my concept on the second Sunday there was to bring in cats that were not the headliner, more cats that are
Sure.
my level, our level.
Sure.
and totally worthy. Like,
Yeah, but in the next 5 years, you might 6 years, you're gonna,
Sure.
you know what I mean, like, or whatever amount. That's gonna be the next cats.
Yeah.
So to give them a taste of, oh yeah, by the way, I saw Doc Link, motherfucker, that second Sunday, and he did his damn thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and that was a conscious effort.
And
you
we're
know?
looking, absolutely, we're looking for reciprocity.
Yeah,
So when you come to our house, we're gonna set the table.
yeah,
We're gonna feed you well. We're gonna show you a good time. You're gonna eat. You're gonna dine. You're gonna drink. May see a little show, and then you're gonna perform and do your thing, and then we'll send you back on your way. But if we can't get that favor returned, or if we can't get
yeah.
that network going,
And it doesn't have to be a gig either. Does
it doesn't have.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It
have
can
to,
be.
doesn't-
It can manifest
be-
in other ways.
Yeah, it absolutely can. But
And
it
that's-
has. But there has to be some value exchanged.
Yeah.
I can't just give for the sake of giving.
Not in this market.
Not in this. But not in life.
My thing is
Period.
fuck
Yeah.
the market. That's
Right.
just grown folk.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. And so
My thing is, I will give. I'm a giver. That's what I do. I will give on the strength with extra length. But
That's a T-shirt. That's the time I'm ripping that shit off.
appropriate, man.
DJ White privilege.
And I don't mind giving, but at some point, I need a reason to keep giving.
Right.
There's a limitation.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's what I raised my kids on, man. So like when I deal with that shit with adults, that's why the things that I kind of end up saying make me sound like a violent person. I'm not. It's just that when you, it's like a dude that works at a restaurant all day. You eat chicken all fucking day. You go home, the last thing you want to do is eat chicken.
That's right.
If I'm raising youngsters and my legacies, from that mindset, and I got to deal with adults and do the same shit, it's kind of exhausting.
Sure.
This ain't got shit to do with music. This ain't got shit to do with DJing. I'm just talking about grown folk business, and how we treat each other, and knowing what the word reciprocity means first and foremost.
Well, first and foremost, expectations.
And acting accordingly, within reason. What makes sense to me may not make sense to him all the time.
Sure.
But first off, communicating.
Absolutely.
It minimizes how much you have to.
Sure.
It minimizes expectations.
Yeah.
Sure.
We got a fucking agreement.
Right.
Now it's just a matter of us acting as if.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we agree that this is what the budget is, and now come out and this is what I need and blah blah blah, and you're all good with that. You don't get to tell me how to be mad when that's not the deal.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I'm not like anyone that even doesn't know me knows I'm not extra. I'm not a problem. My thing is like this is what you said.
Right.
So if you come at me wrong and you're changing what we agreed to,
Don't try to play you like a lump.
And I think that that's been part and parcel to our success. I think that when we tell somebody that we're going to do something, we follow through.
You have to.
We're able to deliver that, and so we both kind of individually and collectively have lived on under promise, over deliver.
That's
yes. Please say that. Please
Yeah.
one more time.
Under promise, over deliver.
Yep.
So
Hallelujah. Thank you.
we
it's a pretty simple concept. It goes a long way.
It goes
It
a
does
long
go
way
a long way.
because you
I'm
earn.
not trying to set unexpected expectations.
It's about being honest with yourself. It's about being honest with everybody. Because we all know people in our lives that, or at least at one point, that once they may have a good heart, they may want to deliver on something, but they can't. That's great, but I would rather you be honest, because that I can deal with.
Absolutely.
And I ain't mad at you.
Right.
Because if I tell you I'm gonna do something, that's
Right.
what's gonna happen.
Right.
And
Right.
and no matter what,
Right.
that's grown
Right.
like grown for business.
Don't tell me you can get airfare when you can't get airfare.
Yeah.
Don't
exactly.
tell me you can get
because
a
I'm
hotel
budgeting. Because
when
I'm
you
yeah.
can't- exactly because and so I think that for us we've been able to again just be real consistent with our brand, stay on message with our brand, and then with those people that we've worked with here locally and then here nationally, of course, and then internationally, we've delivered on what we've promised.
Which is a good experience
And-
all around.
and-
We all
and
love
then
that.
some, but we're not promising the and then some.
Right,
I mean, that just
right,
kind of goes
right.
along with
You
it.
got to bring a little lanyard to
Right.
the table.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you leave room for it and then some.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there's a nice
Exactly.
surprise. It's like a mint on your pillow, baby. You know what I mean? So it's
You
a little bit.
You gotta do that because the other thing is with us is very personal. We're not, we don't have somebody else. Okay, you talk to our people about that. You get with them about that.
You form a relationship.
Right, we're forming relationships.
That's how. That's our thing too. It's like it may take longer, and we've both done this individually and together. It may take longer for things to happen, but it's a relationship. We have a relationship with Matt Bryan.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like that, we have a relationship with these guys in San Diego. We have a relationship with T in Chicago, and and all these people. It's a longer process, but it's so much more rewarding.
Yeah.
It's so much more value because you're up in there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what's up.
And then the other thing that Doug and I have done is we go first.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. We don't. I think that one of the things that I can't stand about the DJ that's trying to break into the game is that they come like this.
Mm-hmm. No patience.
And
well,
it's
just no
but
patience,
just
but they
the
got their
hand out.
Yeah.
Give me.
Yeah.
And we come, bearing gifts.
Yeah.
We're gonna set the table first. You eat, because when it's our time to shine, we're gonna get
You're
full.
gonna handle that business.
A great example of that is Stevenson.
Yes, absolutely.
That was a great example. I mean, we met that brother back in 2014 at NAM.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we probably covered this story before, but just a quick update or reminder. So Rob and I were at NAM, and that's a show for
industry,
recording industries and stuff like that.
Manufacturers.
Down in Anaheim, California, they do one every year.
Do it twice a year now, don't they?
They do it twice,
a year?
but in Anaheim and then some other place, but it's once a year in Anaheim for sure.
So we're down there. We're at an after party for NAM, and Stevenson. This is when we were doing our broadcast religiously on Wednesday nights at DCR.
Yep.
Trendsetters.
Stevenson, his brother, walks up to us and he goes, "Hey, where you guys from?" And I said, "We're from Las Vegas." He was like, "Las Vegas?" He goes, "I've heard a couple of brothers up there. They do this broadcast. They call themselves Unfiltered Soul."
Yeah. What you love that shit?
And I'm looking at this dude.
But he's talking to Doug.
Are
He's
you
like
serious
talking
right
to
now?
Doug.
Are you serious? I said, "That's us." But apparently he listened to the broadcast and never saw us on screen.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this dude.
That's hilarious.
You're fucking with me right now.
But then again, man, I mean, the booth DCR, and you probably
Ain't
got
that little special dark chocolate.
Yeah.
He saw the glasses. That was it. Little bib of the hat. Little shadow. No, I get
somebody it. Smile, please.
I'm the macadamia nut in this cookie today.
But that's how that whole relationship started. And since then, I mean, this guy's been.
We had him out to play.
We had him out to play. We invited him out to come out to DCR to play with us. And then he returns the favor. You know? So we go up to Chicago. We play with him. And it's all love. It's all family. I mean, we've been going back and forth now since 2014. And I mean,
well, the motherfucker can't show up to my gigs in Chicago. I know that. Over-promising and under-delivering. Motherfucker.
Nori the same way.
Yeah,
Nori was in Japan. So Nori tracks.
Love that dude.
Our dude out in Nagasaki, Japan, was listening to that same broadcast on Wednesday night. Reached out to Rob and says, "Hey, I'm a big fan. I live out in Japan. Would love for you to have you come out and play." And Rob was like, "Japan?
I got a passport."
But I thought he was lying because, like Doug said, the show was brand new, and we were doing it, like he said, religious. Every Wednesday we broadcast the whole show, front, back, side to side.
That was when you first went to Ustream.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Stick cam.
Yeah, stick cam. Yep. And so we're doing it just grinding. And so this guy comes into the chat room. He's like, "Yeah, I'm really liking your sound. You should come out to Japan." I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. Come on, quit playing. But he keeps coming week in, week out. So I say, you know what? I know how to get this dude up off me. I'm gonna throw him a number, and then this is just gonna be done.
Yeah.
So I threw him a number, and he was like, "Done. What's next?"
You're like, "Oh shit."
All right, well, then I guess I'm going to Japan.
Oh, my bluff, motherfucker.
Right. And so the first year, Rob said, "I'm going out to Japan. I'm going to go check this dude out.
Right.
I'm going to make a vacation out of it. If nothing else, I'm going to do it."
That's kind of how you got to look at some of these things, man.
Yeah, exactly. I had never been.
So he comes back and goes, Doug, you've got to come out to Japan next year. This, man, is bananas.
You'll be huge there.
Yes.
Literally.
And the Japanese culture there is so, it's blissful. I mean, it's like heaven. I mean, it's like you go there, people are nice, they love house music, they know the songs to songs. You think they would even know songs.
Yeah.
The words.
They know the
words too. They would sing that. You throw on a DJ Spin track from Baltimore. It's so easy. They will sing it word for word.
Yeah.
They're weirdos.
Students of the game.
They're weirdos.
They're consummate students of the
Yeah.
game.
Yes.
Because it's funny what people will pick up on.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
that's crazy.
So now the first year Rob goes out, and if you know us, you know our personalities. Rob is a more reserved, cool, smooth type. I'm more of the clown. I go out. I like to have a blast. I like to get my drink on and stuff like that.
No.
So we go out there next year. I come along, and I just shake things up. I'm coming out there, you know, and I got these little Japanese. You know, they're not used to seeing big brothers out there and stuff like that. So you know, they looking at me going.
That is racially insensitive. I will not tolerate that.
Nori was such a gracious host, man. I mean, he
consummate professional.
It's kind of it's ingrained in their culture too.
Yeah.
At this time, right?
Team. I mean, man,
they had it down.
This dude had it
dialed
locked.
in.
I mean, the moment we landed in Nagasaki, we came by train. They were there. Posse was waiting for us in the cars to the hotel. Took us out to dinner. We're sitting in a true Japanese sushi restaurant where you gotta take your shoes off and get up underneath the table.
How'd that work out for you?
It did. I laid sideways. I was like this eating. My feet was on Nori's lap.
Good God.
Eating.
True story. True story.
That's so funny.
It's a true story. I kid you not.
I want to get out there, man. I've always wanted to get to Japan.
Too damn small for me in Japan. The showers. Here's the wall. Here's the shower curtain.
Man, you taking a whole bath, weren't you? You taking a whole bath.
But the thing that they got right over there was that they, number one, they know how to pay you. They know how to
first and foremost.
They know how to take care of you. They know how to. I mean, they sold our goods like it was like it was
theirs. We came over there
theirs.
with a huge duffel bag of T-shirts and hats. They were like, "We
merchandise
got this.
team."
We'll take care of it for you.
They took care. They ran all of that, man. So we were really able to network with the crowd that was there. We were really able to chop it up with them. We were really able to just focus on our set and do our thing and just really enjoy the night.
Man, we need to make something happen. Nori, give these guys a call. Give us a call.
I'm telling you, Nori, Nagasaki, they know what they're doing.
We need to make something happen, man.
Bomber and Pepe in Tokyo. My girl Desiree out there.
You know who I am?
now.
I'll get you drunk.
Yeah, they took care of it. And so from Tokyo to Kyoto to Osaka to Nagasaki to Fukuoka, they laced us up. We got it.
That's what's up, man.
And so of course we got to bring him back here.
You know what,
man? Aikin in Fukuoka.
Let me tell you, he's a cool cat too, man.
Uchi in Tokyo. I mean, there's just some Lost Soul records. There's cats over there that are really doing it.
Well, you never know what someone's gonna. I mean, it's been my experience too. You never know what people are gonna pick up on. Like you just started the broadcast.
Yeah.
There's something similar happened to me in Amsterdam. I had people come up and I say, "Hey, are you Bruno Browning?" I thought they were taking the piss out of me. You know what I mean? Like, but they were fans of some old whack shit I made a long time ago.
You never know.
Like, and they loved it, and it happened almost every day.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, who said what the what?
Right.
But you never know what type of impact you're making with this small thing like that. When you're making music, you're doing a broadcast, you're doing this, you're doing a podcast, whatever you're doing.
Right.
You never know, which is why we tie it all back together. Why it's so important that we rep our shit right.
You have to. You
Because
have
you
to
never
rep it
know.
right. You have to rep it right.
And this is even if you're doing your best to turn shit to sugar. I get it. Sometimes your money's funny. There's shit that you need that you may not be able to afford, or maybe you can't afford a graphics dude right now.
Please, then stop doing a party then.
Or keep your flyer real simple.
There you go.
Don't try and do too much.
Man, that's a pet peeve of mine.
There it is.
Don't try and do too much. I think that the beauty of our team is dynamic duo all the way through and through. There's things that Doug does that I would not touch.
I'm good at.
He's good at
relationships. I'll get mine.
And then there's things that I do that Doug won't touch. And then there's stuff that we kind of do well, no matter, so who's available.
Right.
But I think that you got to know.
Your depth. You got to know your depth.
And you got to know what you're trying to give to what you're trying to put out here.
Yeah.
Because if you just want to be the flavor of the month.
It's all muddled and all over the place.
Yeah, it's all over. But I think that if you listen to, and that's not to say that our sound hasn't evolved, but you're not gonna hear something that we did 10 years ago and say, that's not even Unfiltered Soul.
Yeah, that's a huge departure from.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be that.
Because it's in here.
Right. And so we've been playing from our hearts when there was no money involved.
There's no other way to play.
All the way.
That's why I touched on it earlier. So depending on where you are, it may be a luxury, you know.
Right.
Because here's the thing: everything we talk about technically is really, really simple.
Yeah.
Just don't confuse simple with easy.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, if you're grinding and you're trying to promote your night or whatever it is, you know, you got a track you're putting out and you're doing the artwork for it and you can't afford a graphics dude. Like, I get it, man. But if it's a means to an end, you gotta approach it like that. You gotta prioritize it in a way. Okay, I'm gonna do this for now, but God damn it, this is one of the X amount of things.
It's an investment.
And I think the reason it becomes real important is because I'll give you an example. There was a synergy in Chicago that existed across promoters. And so depending on, it didn't matter who you were, and I'm gonna drop this for my house heads in Chicago, my promoters in Chicago, and the only people that are gonna know what I'm talking about is real promoters in the game. There was a certain place that you had to get your posters done. And the cool thing about it is that it wasn't in Chicago. And only promoters from back in the day, only people who were really in the game know what I'm talking about. Right. There was a place in Indiana that did everybody's posters. And if you didn't go to Indiana and get your poster done, yours was the one that was getting the side eye because it didn't even hang on the pole right.
Right.
And so I think that what you're doing is important to what we're doing is important to what you're doing is because all of it represents Las Vegas. Yeah. Even though we're representing Unfiltered Soul, even though you guys are the other side of Vegas and Soul Supplement and Monkey Business and all the other concerns that you got going on, it all...
I'm a big fan of Monkey Business.
Absolutely, I am too.
Yeah, you know that.
And so when you fold it all in, that's what starts to be described as, it gets labeled as the Las Vegas house scene.
Yeah,
and
exactly
so
right.
We're only as strong as what? Our weakest link. And so we gotta, in a certain sense, like you were saying in terms of being a gatekeeper, we gotta be our brother's keeper. And somebody,
it's tough.
Sometime might need to get that collar pulled.
It's tough because it's tough being the asshole all the time too.
But I mean, but we haven't we're not above reproach.
Yeah,
I've been checked.
Yeah,
I've been
all of us have.
And I've done some checking.
Yeah.
Trust me.
All of us have.
Checking.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking this other day. There's, we see things that we both have taken a little bit of a back seat on a couple of things because it's that we see out because it's like it's falling on deaf ears a little bit, and it's like, okay, we can only say so much so many times. They're gonna have to figure that out on their own, I guess.
Sure.
And that becomes a little frustrating, especially when you I mean, I may not necessarily want to kick it with everybody in town, but I love everybody that's doing this house thing.
Absolutely, for sure.
I love it, and I respect them there. I love the hustle. So sometimes it's hard when they're not listening, and you're like, okay, I got to pull back because it's too frustrating at some point.
Right.
And let that fall. There's a reason why the Soul Summit logo is the way it is, because I didn't have the ass to make it better. So it was just a font. And now it's evolved twice.
Sure.
Since then, because now people know it as Soul Summit, not Soul Summit Records, which is a big marketing thing to get that.
Sure.
But it all started, that was the best I could do to look as clean as possible with my skill set.
There it is.
And then also then the branding going on. So now I can't change it now.
We're not
but you know
changing
what I mean?
ours.
But it's like you can't overreach. You got to know your depth.
Yeah.
And if you can't do anything, just like Roy said, prioritize that. Well, I need to get some graphics done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But you can't fool yourself because you're not fooling anybody else.
So now, one of the things that Doug and I have to do, because I don't know how long the show runs, one of the things that we have to do is we got to tell you about this Friday and the 16th of November.
Okay, I only had the 16th on my radar, so go ahead.
I'll make it fast.
No, hey, take your time.
Can we?
Yeah.
Not that much time. I got stuff to do. I got to get some food.
We'll talk about Friday real quick.
All right, let's talk about Friday.
Yeah.
I'm
Friday.
hungry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cats from Chicago in Phoenix.
Yes.
That's Kenny and Nick Look Eminem
Peanut and DJ Anthony.
DJ Anthony.
Is it DJ Anthony or Dan?
D'Anthony.
Okay, yeah, I know you're talking about.
These brothers, they showed us a lot of love. They invited us to come out to Phoenix. We played with them. It was a great time. They doing sort of like an annual picnic thing out there too in Phoenix, which is nice. So we invited them to come down to Las Vegas, which is this Saturday.
Friday.
I'm sorry.
Friday.
Did I say Saturday?
You did.
Yes,
Friday.
you
Friday.
No, the Habiki said Saturday.
Yeah, Habiki said Saturday like a motherfucker, boy.
Let me correct that.
That's one wheel. No, we down to like one wheel.
This Friday,
Right.
at the Downtown Cocktail Room, we'll have the Phoenix Takeover. Our brothers from another mother from Phoenix, Arizona, they're coming through. They're going to show you what they're made of. They're representing Chicago. They will be in the building this Friday with us.
Hope they got their permits for that park party.
Yeah.
Right.
You got that.
I got that.
Next.
Big ticket.
Big ticket, November
16th.
16th,
Friday.
We have Deep Sugar, Ultra Naté, Lisa Moody. If you're a house head, you know who Ultra Naté is. She
Definitely.
did Free. She did that track with Dave Morales called Planet Love. There's a couple other tracks that she's got out. They're also amazing DJs. I saw them a couple of weeks ago at the Standard Hotel in downtown LA.
Love me some Standard.
Yeah.
And they got it in. They sang. I shot a video of that. I mean, it's over 10,000 views on that video just alone.
Damn.
And I mean, oh yeah.
So they're dropping a DJ set here as a part of the Deep Sugar. This is their 15th anniversary tour. This is 15 years in the game, strong.
That's gonna be all right.
It's gonna be beast mode. And again, we're gonna set the table, and then those two ladies, they are gonna eat.
They're gonna do their thing.
They are gonna eat well.
Be there for that one.
Yeah.
No admission, no cover.
No cover.
Free admission.
No crazy.
Downtown Cocktail Room, 111 South Las Vegas Boulevard, Las Vegas downtown.
What?
Don't miss it.
Right.
Don't miss it.
That's one not to be missed.
Don't miss it.
And so this is the thing. We have an opportunity here, not only to show Ultra Naté and Lisa Moody what is happening on the Vegas scene. They get to make a significant contribution because, to my knowledge, first time that duo is played here. First time.
So the last time Ultra Naté was here was like in 1990 as a recording artist.
Wow.
She's coming back. She's very excited about playing for Las Vegas.
Listen, everybody needs to come out for that.
Very
show what's
excited.
up. We got to represent.
Very excited.
Right. You got to show.
Your house head or not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You
Is that
to make
simple?
it to
Here's
that
the thing. You don't need to do a goddamn thing.
All you gotta do is show up.
But
That's
you should
all you
really,
gotta do.
really want to.
Yeah.
First off, on the really crude side, if you expect people to do it for you, that's just on. Come on, that is what it is.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, you never know how things that you may not really care about too much still affect you. Let's say you're up and comer. You ain't even really into the soulful, funky
6
shit.
month motherfucker.
Like, and hey, you got motherfuckers that got decades in the game and still act like 6 months.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
I don't mean that they can play.
Right.
Fuck out of here with that shit.
You ain't
But
wrong
anyway,
at all.
it would still behoove you, even if it's curiosity, man.
Come get a lesson.
Be a part of, just the wonder of house music. Now, we can all talk about what house music feels like, sounds like. I got my own little thing about what house music looks like, and this ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. But anyway, but you're still welcome anyway.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But my thing is, one of the things that house music personifies is that you just never know. You never know when a dude at NAMM is gonna walk up to you like, hey, blah blah blah.
Right.
You never know.
When
some random dude comes into the chat room and says,
Never
hey
know.
man, come out to Nagasaki. Fuck out of here.
Exactly.
But house music.
And somebody could have easily said that.
But house music says fuck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's anything's possible.
You can, yeah.
Exactly. So come see how the grown folks do it. You know, we may smell like Bengay and shit. Don't worry about that. You know.
He said we may smell like Bengay.
Well, Ultra and Lisa are gonna bring it. I mean, if you have and the thing about that is that this is a worldwide, internationally known duo, 2 women getting it in, putting in work. I mean, I'm talking they're in Paris one week, Amsterdam the next week.
They're in Paris
Australia,
right now.
Yeah. Australia another week.
Yeah, they were at the Opera House.
Winter Music Conference. I mean, these ladies.
They get it in.
They get it in. They put in work.
And if you don't know who they are, it says more about you than it does about them.
We're going to talk shit about you once we start filming.
Ourselves, man. Let's get over ourselves.
Right.
There's a lot of shit that's just really fucking wonderful out here that you just may not be privy to.
Let me tell you what's wonderful.
And the same shit goes for me because I could be a little closed-minded too.
Closed-minded. He don't know a single DJ or producer's name except like 2.
But I know all their fucking music and I paid for it.
I want to point this out.
None of my shit 96 kilohertz.
I want to point this out.
I don't steal shit from YouTube.
My girlfriend, who's never listened to house music. Cheryl, baby.
Yeah, she's definitely the brains behind this operation.
He's definitely down the one way on that. Wasn't on house music. Is where you were.
Didn't even know house music. Okay, got with me. We hung out, turned on to the house music scene. We went down to Miami. Instantly became a fan of Ultra Naté when she was doing a music conference show down there. Instantly became a fan.
That's right.
In
Catch
fact,
a flight from Chicago, whoever that was.
I mean, repping her hard, repping house music hard. When we go and play at DCR, that girl is up there dancing.
Dude,
every Friday.
What I tell you.
Yeah.
What I tell you. It was a little while ago.
Represented.
It was a while ago when I was talking to another dude about your woman and how much I love watching her. I don't want to call it progress. Watching her grow in the scene, grow in the family.
Never heard house music.
She came up in
4 years
DCR. She
ago?
was getting her Carlton on and shit, and it was cool because
she was getting her Carlton on. Damn. Damn, dude, that took me a second. I was on the delayed reaction.
Now it's only the Carlton now compared to the beast she is right now.
Right.
She makes me happy when I see her on the floor. When I see her come on, when I'm playing, she comes on.
Only because I remember when she kind of didn't want to dance. You know what I mean? And now you can't stop her.
I gotta grab her. I gotta tackle her and get her off the floor.
Man, a couple of weeks ago, I seen her at DC. I'm like, yeah, my grandmama passed. She's like, you know what? I need to go dance. I'll be right back.
Cheryl, baby, I love you.
And she knows only part of that story is true. Not about my grandmother.
I'm
we were talking. She's like, I'm gonna go dance, and I'm like, get to work.
I can't even be mad at that, right? You can't even be mad at
that at all.
But she instantly became a fan of Ultra Naté and Deep Sugar when they were down in Miami doing the Miami Music Week. And then she was like, Doug, they're going to be in LA. We need to go see that. We went down to the Standard, saw them on the rooftop in LA. It was an amazing show.
To be fair, everything sounds better at the Standard.
Yes. That video spawned over 10,000 views on that when she was up there singing over one of her tracks that she did with Terry Hunter.
I saw that.
And then my surprise, or our surprise, I should say, Unfiltered Soul was we're going to get her in Las Vegas. We got to get the
fellas.
team. And we're very excited. We're very hyped up about it. Absolutely. You know what? This is us representing for Las Vegas. Dude, this is how strong we believe in the house music scene in Las Vegas.
Hey, to celebrate, I'm going to take one of these rotaries home.
I think that falls under the category of using goddamn lie. So, but on that note, we're going to start breaking it down. We're going to start off by asking you to share this video. We're going to start off by also segue into asking you to find and like the Unfiltered Soul page.
Please do.
Go from there.
Please do.
To Babylon, Doug W. What else you guys got coming up? You got this Friday.
The Phoenix Takeover.
Phoenix Takeover.
This Friday.
16th, Ultra Naté.
Halloween.
Yes. Let's point on that real quick.
Oh yeah.
Akaika.
Halloween. DJ Akaika.
Love that dude.
Wednesday night, Halloween. He was
DCR.
Such a gracious host and invited all of us, all the DCR brethren, to come in and join him on Halloween to do this party. So it's going to be DJ Akaika, Lenny, Aaron, DJ Douglas Gibbs, who is the Saturday resident.
What?
He and Rob, we're all gonna be tuning big on Halloween.
Wobble, wobble.
Oh, man.
Let me tell you, Kaika rep.
That's my man, Danny Glover. I'm Delroy Lindo. He's Danny Glover.
Kaika
We're
rep.
officially down the hubcaps, y'all.
Kaika plays more soul southern music than I do.
God.
Kaika plays more soul southern music than I do, which I give him big love for that.
Yeah, Kaika rep, he held it down for us when we were in Chicago.
Yeah, he hit. Yeah,
That he did.
shout out to Kaika, baby.
And we got and
Not only did he do that, but he did it well because I was there. My man Gene came out. I hadn't seen my man in good 30 years.
Okay.
But yeah, he was there. I mean, we were there, and he definitely did.
Oh
you guys proud.
yeah, we knew. That's why we reached out to him.
Yeah.
It's like we already know you know what to do.
Right.
So,
well, listen, if you got, and also it'd be remiss if we didn't say if you happen to be free on Sunday.
Yep.
We got a little something
What's going on?
We
Tell
got a little
us.
something. We got the first real ever of us doing the other side of Vegas as a duo. We're gonna get a little warm
So
up.
that's gonna be this Sunday, the 28th, Luna Lounge.
Yeah.
At my house.
A little pre Denver show.
Yeah.
A little pre Denver
Because
show.
after that, matter of fact, after that on Halloween, the same night, we'll also be doing another broadcast with the fellas from my house. But after that, you can catch me and Bruno off all my Colorado fan bam.
That's right.
We'll be at Milk Bar November 9th.
Love me some Milk Bar, man.
Man, we gonna get it in. Big up to my man Steve Sinful. Yep, and we gonna be getting it in.
I just want to say that I never knew that these guys were never really quite a duo. Like they played independently
We was
yet
business
together.
partners.
And so this Sunday night will be the first time you guys will actually play as
Booking, yeah, book-wise.
a duo,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as a team.
You know the rule.
Yeah.
You book us both. You don't get 2 for 1.
There it is.
That's gonna be on the business cards. That's gonna be on the business cards,
Don't do
baby.
that kind of bad. So be on the lookout. Unfiltered Soul. Go to the Facebook, the Grammy Grams, and
Right.
the
Twitters,
tweeters
all
and
we're
that
all
stuff.
over the place.
And
Don't buy that.
And find your Unfiltered Soul. I think one of them has an S. I think that's Instagram.
Yeah, Unfiltered Souls. Yeah.
And which kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally,
Duo.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But
More than one
and
soul.
same here. Be on the lookout if you're in the Colorado area. We'll be up in Milk Bar November 9th. Vegas, if you're around the Strip area, getting your zombie on or whatever the fuck you do on pre-Halloween on a fucking Sunday, we'll be at Luna Lounge. And that's it.
Till
And,
Chicago.
I'm gonna dress up as Thanos.
You should, dude. You totally should.
Well, appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, it's always fun down here, man.
Until next time, there's no peace without unity.
What's up?